Hey everybody, welcome to the last in a series of games between Flash and effOrt. This is from stream a couple days ago.
우리 또 중계방에서
Always
루빈님이 또
excited.
만세품 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
And
만세품 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
so
감사합니다.
far it's basically been 3 games of effOrt serving as Flash's punching bag. Despite some really clever openings from effOrt and honestly some mechanical genius, Flash is he's been on top of everything. There's really been at no point in the game, in these games where I felt like, oh, Flash is like absolutely lost. There's been several times where I've been like, oh, Flash might be like a little bit behind. But he's never been outright behind, and it just shows it just goes to show that even with some of the strongest mechanics in the world, it's so hard to beat Flash just because not only are his mechanics there, but he's just a genius. He always knows what's going on. We have effOrt in the top right going for this 9 pool. Like he's going to be going for the 9 pool speed. This is a very all-in build. Never mind, I lied again. It's another one of those. Another one of those extractor trait drones, my bad. Okay, so it's just gonna be a 9 pool, economic 9 pool. And what this means is he's going to be going for some early pressure again to put his opponent on the defensive, but this time around, effOrt also did this in game 2 of the series. Now we're in game 4, but the difference was in game 2, Flash scouted in the wrong direction. He actually scouted the Zerg player last. In this case, he's going to be scouting first, and it's going to be a lot harder to actually get much damage done with this 9 pool. He might still make the 6-lings, or he might only just settle for 2 and just play very economically from there. It's hard to tell, but Flash actually doesn't get into the main base. He's not going to scout. He's actually going to eBay block here. And this might actually be a problem for him. He spent a lot of money trying to get that eBay down. He's actually going to continue making it. This is a really interesting response to an early ling play, because it prevents effOrt from actually moving across the map and pushing like he wants to. The SCV does go down, so kind of a win there for effOrt so far. He is going to be getting his natural quite late, which is a bit unfortunate. And he might be able to pick off this SCV. No, he doesn't quite get it. But he's going to try to pick off as many SCVs as he can right now with these 8-lings. Going to get on top of the Marines. He might be able to kill 2 Marines. If he kills 2 Marines, that's a pretty good trade. So 2 Marines and 3 SCVs is a decent trade for this early game. Because his natural got down so late, though, it definitely caused some problems for Flash, but as you can see, though, Flash's command center is going to be a little bit later too because of that eBay block. Normally you would have the CC being built on the high ground during that time period, and then you just float it down, no problem. But because he built that eBay, it is a little bit later. So they're a little bit even as far as expansions go right now. But it's a bigger deal for the Zerg player to have that later expansion, because that means later gas, and Zerg really needs that second gas. Really good job of effOrt to really track down this SCV and kill it off pretty quickly. We're gonna have to see if he goes for that Zergling speed first, which he likes to do whenever he kills off the SCV, or if he's just gonna be going for the lair instead. Personally, I would like to see the Zergling speed first, just because his natural is so late that he really needs to get that extra gas in order to get the Mulus out early on. But he's actually going to go for the flare first, so looks like he's going to be playing for that mid game. Not going to be going too greedy right now. And the CC only just finishes right now, so this is pretty good news for effOrt. I would say right now they're pretty even right now. Turn is a little bit further ahead because of the supply count, but that difference will disappear pretty shortly once we get to full 3 hatch production. So let's see what goes on. The second gas is coming down, so that tells me that it's probably going to be a mutalist play. We haven't seen a Hydra Den so far. Usually you want to get the Hydra Den down about halfway when the layer is halfway done. And since that hasn't come down so far, it's pretty much guaranteed that it is going to be the mutalist. So you see, oh, I lied. Oh, he's going to do both. That's different. So he's actually going to put down both the Hydra Den and the Spire. And again, this feels like tricky play. He's trying to take the Shine approach and just be really tricky to throw Flash off his game, but I don't know if it's worth it. Flash going for that triple barracks. Looks like he's not going to go up to the 5 barracks quite yet. I lied. He's going to go up to 4. That means the 5th barracks is probably going to come down pretty shortly. At this point, you usually go ahead and get your ComSat stations. But I think his ComSat stations they feel like they're a little bit late. I could be wrong. Actually, your ComSat stations up a little bit earlier, but you can go ahead and get that scout off, see what tech your opponent's going. But Flash going for a little bit later in this game. Maybe it's just because of how late his second CC was. Just trying to play it a little bit safer, but one SCV going down to these Zerglings, and good positioning with these Marines on the ramp. These Lings are not going to be able to get up as many main base. And we see the first set of Mutalists coming out, so it is going to be the Mutalist first, even though he did go for that early Hydra Den. You see Flash actually throwing down the scans right now. I think he saw the Spire because he's already making the proper defenses where he needs to. So, no problem, easy peasy. Third base actually going down at the proper time for the first time in this series for effOrt. So he's actually going to have quite a bit. He's actually going to cancel it because he's afraid of this attack coming in. He didn't have the economy early on to throw up these sunkens, so he's having to rely on getting quite a bit more sunkens later on. And with only one sunken done so far and just Mutalists to defend, this is a little bit rough. This one sunken is going to go down. Second one finishes, but another one gets sniped, and this might actually just be the end of the game. Even with good Mutalist micro, it's so hard to actually kill off all of this. Eventually he is going to kill us, but a lot of these Mutalists are going to get softened up or die. And that's a pretty big deal, because this is literally all effOrt has in the game, is just these Mutalists right now. And a lot of damage done there by killing off all of those Mutalists. No third base down yet right now, and he has to remake some of these Mutalists, so he can't even make more Zerglings to follow up and kill this next force that's moving across the map. And this is a pretty brutal time period for effOrt. Again, he's been the punching bag this entire series, and getting those sunkens down late, again, Flash hits him with just the right timing and manages to do some pretty significant damage. You do see the 5 racks now in full effect, so there's going to be a lot of stuff out on the map. Really smart play to go ahead and send this Marine down there. It's going to be able to pick off that drone, and this is hell for Zerg players when they can't actually secure a third base. When you're up against, when you're going Mutaling versus 5 racks, and you can't get a third base up, it's literally hell as a Zerg player. Meanwhile, Flash just continuing to get the rest of his infrastructure up. He's probably going to be going up to that starport. We'll have to see if he goes for double starport and goes for that SK Terran style he's been favoring as of recent, or if he is instead going to be going for more of a just tech heavy style, and lots of Lings going down there, but lots of Marines as well. So I was a little bit concerned about that at first from effOrt, but he did a really good job of trading pretty well there and killing off some of that force. But I don't think it was cost efficient enough. You really need to be incredibly cost efficient with this Mutaling against the 5 racks. Otherwise you end up just in a situation where you're trading units all day, but you're trading worse than your opponent. We do see the double starport, so it is going to be that SK Terran style. We're going to see the two science vessels come out pretty shortly. We'll see if Flash decides to go for the 2 dropships first, or the 2 science vessels. Usually, if you're up against more of the Mutilus style, you just go for the science vessels first, and then get the dropships later. But science vessel is a little bit later, so it's possible that he can definitely... it's definitely possible for him to go for the dropships first and just wait on the science vessels. And I love this style of play because, honestly, Flash doesn't even care if the 3rd base goes up, because he's doing a lot of posturing out on the middle of the map, and he's trading efficiently with his Marine medic, which means he gets plenty of time to just kind of do whatever he wants. And once the SK Terran style gets into full gear, it's easily able to just like walk through and just wreck everything. And lots of Mulus going down. I think effOrt's barely going to be able to hold this, but he's going to lose almost all of these Mulus. He's down to just Lurkerling, which is not bad, but it's not good against this particular playstyle. I don't even know if effOrt knows what's going on in Flash's base. I think effOrt has just been playing reactively all game, and at this point he doesn't have really much to actually do. Good medic box right now so far, but eventually this small force is going to get cleaned up, and actually just continuing to flood in units is Flash. He's going to try to break this base eventually with no defilers out yet so far. It's just Ling Muta, Ling Muta Lurker versus these first 2 science vessels, and it's going to be really difficult to break this, even with perfect micro. Lots of Lings going down there. It's a little bit unfortunate, and the first 2 science vessels are here. This is where you have to really start worrying as the Zerg player, because there's nothing you can do. And a racer trick coming in. This is so annoying, so obnoxious to deal with, but effOrt's not going to be able to do anything. There's the GG. Flash just beating up effOrt 4-0. Fantastic play.